New Year's, a time where many in the world are setting new goals and revisiting old ones. Yet after 6 months, less than 50% of those people will actually still be working towards those goals. Fast forward to Thanksgiving, and how many do you think are still going?
Self-discipline is a word that's a bit elusive, but ultimately to me it means your ability to keep your commitments to yourself. It's more than motivation, more than willpower, and more even than the combination of the two. What do you think when I say the phrase self-discipline?
Chocolate.
When I say the phrase self-discipline, what do you think?
Brown? I like to center myself.
When I say the phrase self-discipline, what do you think?
Bananas. Hi.
When I say the phrase self-discipline, what do you think?
Yoga.
When I say the phrase self-discipline, what do you think?
Consciousness. You gotta do me over again. Wait, let me think about this.
Discipline is the opposite of indulgence. It's often thought of just powering through resistance in the face of a lack of desire to continue. That takes a tremendous amount of energy, and you'll have to power through that battle every single time. There seems to be something missing from this equation, something that will make it a heck of a lot easier. Okay.
Muscles.
Nice.
There we go. Perfect.
There seems to be a collective social tendency to place blame on someone or something else for our own action or inaction, and avoid taking responsibility for the consequences of our activity. How can you expect to move forward and make lasting change if you refuse to take responsibility for your own life and tendencies? You must become human, and human in the fullest sense of the word. You must allow yourself to feel your actual experience, uncomfortable as it is sometimes, and learn to live with your whole heart and being. The human condition includes everything possible in experience, both the pleasant and the uncomfortable. You have to address both in order to effect real and lasting change. In short, you have to pay attention. When you begin the practice of paying attention, you begin to notice what you are actually up to. You begin to find yourself out and discover all the little tendencies of pattern and being that keep you rooted where you are and actively prevent you from moving forward with your life. We have all sorts of patterns playing out automatically, hundreds of times every day. Patterns of action and inaction and habit and tendency. Virtually every moment of our lives are based on these patterns and tendencies. So it makes sense that in order to make some change, you're gonna have to know what they are. Otherwise, how would you know when you're slipping into old or unhealthy patterns?
Your habits come from your subconscious. While your consciousness, when you're conscious about your subconscious habits, then you can self-discipline yourself.
There is a process to finding yourself out. And the beginning of that process is self-discipline. So imagine you've created a goal for yourself that for the next 30 days, you want to have at least 30 minutes of movement or walking in every single day. And for the first week, goes pretty good. You're feeling motivated, you're seeing results, you enjoy the activity. But the following week comes along and maybe the weather's a little colder, maybe it's raining outside, and all of a sudden, all of that hope and positivity and motivation is replaced by a desire to stay in, maybe curl up on the couch with a blanket. Basically, just a desire to skip it. But what's really happened in the space of a week? Have you actually changed your mind? Or is this the resurfacing of some of those tendencies that you have that is just using the weather to slide back into what's comfortable? Even though it really couldn't have been that comfortable if you were desiring to make the change in the first place. Consider this. If you had no memory of doing things differently than what you are trying to do right now, would it be hard to do? No, there would be nothing for you to let go of. No pattern or tendency of being that would get in the way, capture your attention, make you doubt, or long for a return to what is known. Freedom then is the ability to let go of the patterns and tendencies that are holding you back from growth. Thoughts and memories will arise. They do all the time. But when you place your attention on them, then all of a sudden they take on a sticky quality that makes it extremely difficult to let go and make a different choice.
It's okay on the pepper, but it
Needs salt.
Yeah.
You could choose anything you want as a self-discipline and make observations on where you're experiencing resistance. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be as simple as writing in a journal every day. And just the noticing itself begins a loosening of the sticky quality of those tendencies, and you begin to find a little more freedom to make a different choice. The opposite is also possible. You notice the tendency and do nothing. Make the same choice that you always do, further entrenching the pattern into your life until you are driven to try and change again. On and on, indefinitely. You have to surrender your duality of mind, which both wants to change and yet resists it simultaneously. The more you do this, the more you exercise your ability to make a different choice, the easier it becomes and the freer you become. No longer a slave to your thoughts, whims, and habitual patterns. After all, is your mind such that it is worth being ruled by? Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Thanksgiving!
Oh, yummy!